My name is Dale LaCure, and welcome to my channel. I love helping parents create healthier, happier, more financially secure homes by providing information, resources, and a very unique opportunity in the network marketing industry. So go on and click that subscribe button so you don't miss out.
All right, parents, listen up for this one. This is going to be amazing. Another incredible Tuesday testimonial. Let us know where you're watching in from. I have Angie with me. She's going to share the story of her son who woke up with like anger and just being really difficult, defiant, kind of in fight or flight mode. And when she got him using this gut-brain axis protocol that we're going to talk about just in a minute, he's done a complete 180. So this is stuff that parents need to know because people are not aware that there are natural solutions for our children, for ourselves, for mental wellness. So Angie, thank you so much for being with me here today and sharing this, personal kind of story. So tell us where your son was at, how he was acting, and where he's at today, which is the most important thing of all.
Sure. Yeah. So he's come a very, very long way. He was around 8 years old when we realized that he had ADHD, but when he was about 3 years old forward, he's currently 12. We knew that there was definitely some struggles there, and we found out when he was 8 years old that he had ADHD, and at that exact time, we also found out that he had reactive attachment disorder. So reactive attachment disorder is a trauma-induced emotional disorder that affects the brain, and it fully affects his emotions. He didn't feel naturally loved. He didn't feel naturally accepted. This was just a fight that went on in his own brain of how he would feel versus how other people would feel in certain situations, such as getting a hug or being in a grouping of friends and feeling like he should be there and be a part of it. So these were all things that we had to deal with on top of the ADHD, which was lack of focus, lack of ability to stay on task, inability to take tests without getting up and walking around the classroom and being distracted and distractive. And that the biggest thing for him at the moment of us finding the protocol that we use today was school. School, even though there was a lot happening at home, of course, as parents, we just adapt, right? We adapt to however we need to do things. Well, school is one of those things that it was just like an email from the teacher literally daily. Jacob is being distractive again, distracting other students, he's distracting himself. He became a self-distractor more as he got older, where he would just be fidgeting in his desk, drop things on the floor just to pick them up and things like that. He was at the point where he had an IEP, and the IEP was to take him out of the classroom to take his tests. He was not allowed to really work in groups of more than 3 people without an adult right there, never getting up and walking around, just right there. He didn't have a TSS worker or anything, but that was a discussion that was coming up as he was aging. But he was really, you could tell he was really trying, but his attention span wasn't there to try in a fashion that other kids are able to try, right? So he would sit down to do a worksheet, and he would try to do the worksheet, and he would be perfectly fine for the first, let's just say it's math, 4 problems. And then he's tapping his pencil, he's rocking in his chair, he's standing up, he's sitting down, he needs a snack, he needs to go to the bathroom. Oh, he's ready to pet the dog now. Oh, I just want to pet the dog. I want to pet the dog. Like all of these different distractions. His brain would not allow him to focus. And the poor kid, it was at the time when Harry Potter was a really big thing for kids who read books. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to read Harry Potter. He really did. His heart wanted to read Harry Potter, but his brain and his body did not allow him to sit and read ever. He tried really hard and he would never be able to make it into the 3rd page. He just didn't have the focus. So then what happened was, when we were going through therapy with therapists and such and doing what we had to do, we didn't really see a lot of improvement. We found different tools to use, but what happened at home more was his anger. And we had him in therapy hoping that we would get more of an answer to what we could do for him in school. And the only thing we got was some tools to deal with his anger at home. So the anger thing got worse and worse as he got older, and his fuse got shorter and shorter as he got older. And he would even spend time in his bedroom, just feeling totally like not a part of the family. We try and play a game and he would sabotage the game because he didn't feel like he was as important as everybody else playing the game. And he had this thing inside of him that he had to win, right? You know how kids, like, they just have to win. And if
Yeah.
you don't win, and we didn't raise him that way. We've always raised our kids that, you know, winning is not important. It's what you put into it. Did
Right.
you try? Did you have fun? Who were you with? Was it an experience? Was it a memory? Like, we've really been like that our whole lives. So him wanting to win all the time, you know, it was definitely a red flag for me with his therapist. So long story short was I knew, huh?
Did he go to OT? Did he do occupational therapy?
He did not do occupational therapy. No, the thing was the school labeled him as behavioral, but they only labeled him as behavioral in the classroom setting. As far as like the big classroom setting, they felt he was very manageable in small groups. So it wasn't spoken about after he was evaluated that any OT would be needed. So he was
fast
really
forward
just,
to today.
yeah. So 12 years old now, and he has come so far. First of all, his confidence is amazing. His confidence is through the roof, and he's just feeling so good about himself and so sure about himself. And the
Wow.
biggest change that happened was in 5th grade. He was on the products 3 weeks, and he was able to read. He was able to read. I was working a book fair at his school, and his teachers came in to get me, his regular teacher and his IEP teacher. They pulled me into a meeting, and they told me, they said, you know what? Something's going on with Jacob. I don't even know what to say. And they said he is just really focusing well. He's watching a movie with ease. He will not put his book down. We actually have to tell him to put his book down. So it was amazing. He went in a 3-week period. He went from reading at a 3rd and 4th grade level as a 5th grader to reading, comprehending, and taking tests at a 7th and 8th grade level. 3 weeks.
Smokes.
3 weeks.
Smokes.
Yes.
Whoa.
So fast forward to us right now in 2020, he was reevaluated for his full IEP. I wanted a ground up reevaluation because I knew that he was a totally different kid, you know, on paper, right? So I wanted a ground up full reevaluation. And lucky for us, we actually moved into a new school district. So they were able to do that right as he entered the school. And he was released from his IEP in 2020. And he is now, yes, he is now reading and comprehending at a 9th grade level in 6th grade. He is reading nonstop. He takes a book in the car. If he goes to practice just a few minutes down the road, he's got a book. If we run to pick up food, he's got a book. Like, it doesn't matter where we're going. If it's a minute, he has a book. He goes out on my front porch and reads, just sitting on the front porch and petting the cats. We have outside cats. He'll go out there and pet them and hold a book in his hand and read. I mean, it's amazing how much he wants to read. And he recently started guitar, and I can't tell you how much passion and a mix of confidence he has now than before, where even the passion was not there, right? So he's got passion, he's got confidence, he wants to do things, and he feels really good doing them. He wants to go to guitar lessons. Like, he's like, please fit it in between my baseball games. Like, I want to go. So he's taking guitar, and he's doing so amazing at baseball. You have no idea the struggle that this kid had from being on a team and feeling like he was part of the team and having the confidence when he's on the field. This has all come full circle for him in the past 2 years, like almost 2 years now he's been on the products. He is amazing at what he does, and he feels it. And see, that was the difference. He would be amazing before, not to the point he is now, but he would be very good at what he was doing if he was into it, but he wouldn't feel it. He'd feel like a failure, and he'd feel like no one else saw it or appreciated it. Now he knows what it's like to feel balanced. And his eating has come full circle. He used to be the skinny ADHD kid who didn't want to eat anything but certain things, you know, and now he eats and tries all kinds of new things, and he's just like so balanced. And his joy level is through the roof. He has so many friends. And he's just always wanting to be and do constantly. He wants to be and do something all the time. And it's just so wonderful to see the life in him, because before he was a very gray cloud. He was very gray. He would come into his bedroom. He'd live in his bedroom. He'd be sad while he was in there. I'd go in to talk to him, or my husband would go in to talk to him, and he wouldn't even say anything. Now he's like running down the steps to go outside. You don't see him. He's playing basketball. He's playing baseball, whatever, riding his quad, like whatever he wants to do. And it's all because he feels like he can do things with ease now. And before, let me tell you, every single thing that he would try was a struggle. And it was either a struggle because of the people, meaning like he wouldn't feel a part of the team, or the coach would speak to him and not get how his brain worked, right? So he'd feel frustrated or whatever. And then like maybe friends would come over and they'd start to play something all together and he wouldn't feel a part of it. So this is a huge piece for these kids to eliminate that wall that's automatically there when you don't feel like you're a part of something, when your emotions control you. He doesn't feel as sad as easily. He doesn't feel as drawn out as easily. He's just on. He's on. He's happy. He's thriving.
Like they're supposed to be, right? That's the thing. Oh my gosh, that's why there's like such a fire in both of us, because it's like, parents, you got to know about this.
Yes. And you know what? And let me speak to the parents for a minute. I'm a mom of twins, right? So their whole life, he has a sister named Ella. So I'd be watching her handle things one way and then him handle them another, right? And as you know, if you have multiple children, like this is, you have to put on your hat for that kid, right? Well, now it's like there isn't so much conformity happening. It's like, hey, we're going to go for ice cream. Well, we used to say we'll go for ice cream. And he would be like, I don't want ice cream. I don't even want to leave my room. I don't want to get in the car. I don't want to try and put my shoes on. Yeah. Yeah. And now it's like, let's go, like, let's go hiking. Let's go see the waterfalls. Like, let's do all kinds of stuff, So as a family, it's really important that you have family harmony. And this was this piece that I was missing for the longest time, because I myself am mentally well now too. So I can see more clearly. So I can see all of that friction removed. I can see all of that, like just that feeling of static gone from like trying to pick a TV show together. These are things that used to create issues. Asking everybody to sit down and watch a family movie, play a family game, get in the car and go on a family trip. I mean, there was always, on his part, he lived in fight or flight. So he was always angry or isolated. There was really no, I'll be a part of this, right? Wow. So as parents, it's really, really important that you know that there are choices for your kids. I didn't want him to go down the medication route, for the simple fact that I've watched that in another family member. This person had ADHD, and as an adult, they struggled hard with addiction and different things, So it's important that we know what path we want them to be on, And for me, going 100% naturally just made total sense, because it was a way to get him to feel better. And it also brought joy right into his life immediately. So like when I started to see him smile and say, I love you, and want to be a part of me again and my husband again, let alone his sister's life again, it was a huge turning point, humongous turning point.
Wow. All I can say is, wow. I mean, all I can say is share this. People need to know this. Like if you're watching this right now, like I'm sure you have friends where the kids are just not, there's something wrong. Kids should be joyful. Kids should be playful. Kids should be confident. I mean, that's what we all want as parents. I know that we do. So be open-minded, like seek out alternatives. What do you got to lose? Like try it and see what happens and give it time. Some kids take a little bit longer than others. So don't let the time thing be, like if it doesn't happen right away, oh, this isn't working. No, that's not how it goes. Like you've been doing it for 2 years now, and you're still seeing results, right? And your whole family, right, is doing it. So you're yes.
So many phased results. I mean, just the approach of the first day of school. You know what I mean? Like just like oh, okay, I'm going to get dressed and go to school. It's the first day, rather than I hate school. I'm not going to bed tonight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of those little struggles that I had for years. And the biggest thing is, as parents, you have to realize if you need some mental wellness too, because I can't imagine if he tried these products and I wasn't also on the journey, because as parents, we're too stressed out. And like, what if he fought me? Which he didn't, but what if he fought me to take these products? I help people all the time. And sometimes they're like, well, my kid won't take it. Well, let's think about what's going to be better for the child. How can we get them to take it? You know what I mean? Some
Right.
kids don't like to eat, these aren't like vitamins or anything, but some kids, just for instance, as a basic example, won't chew a vitamin, right? Well, how can you get that vitamin in them, right?
Right.
So it comes down to, for us, when he started these products, he loved everything peach mango. It was kind of his thing. So I just mixed it with peach mango juice. Like whatever you need to do to get the
Right.
benefits. I mean, this is a better life. This is a child who isn't going to have, like, he's a preteen right now. He's not going to have teen depression. He's not going to have teen anger to the point that it's
Anxiety.
uncontrollable, right? Like we
Mhm.
get the like tired Jacob every now and again, like, oh, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to talk to you, and he's also a preteen. So we have that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is not that deep level. This is not that lasting where you wake up the next day and it's still that feeling. That's how he was, but you don't have that anymore. So I really want you guys as parents to look at this as a big picture and say, I want to look at what it is that you're talking about because I want a better life for my child. And another thing is, this protocol works at a cellular level. So you are helping them heal and be a healthier version of themselves as they continue to put this in their body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's such a win-win. But I
Mhm.
have to say that if I wasn't mentally clear enough, I might not be able to see that whole picture. That's why I'm speaking about it today
Mhm.
specifically, because it's so important. It's so important. Maybe your kid's only 8 right now. Well, that 8-year-old is going to be 14 one day. And what's their life going to be like? What's going to happen in school and on social media and all of this stuff that's happening? Like, what's going to happen? How are they going to handle that? Well, if they're mentally well and they can focus and they can be calm and they can control their emotions and they don't have fight or flight and they don't feel like they're less of a person, they're going to
Yeah.
handle that better. Right? So we need the
And the
reality
confidence.
here too.
Yeah, and I think the confidence piece is huge.
It's
And
humongous.
and the self-love, like if they feel confident, they feel in control, like they're more inclined to not be followers and they'll more rational to think maybe that's not such a good idea to take that drug. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
just
Well,
have more awareness. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, awareness. That's exactly it. Like they need to know that they're wholesomely balanced and feeling well, so they don't need to reach to external things, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And I have watched I help many people on a daily basis, but I have watched some parents who said no at first, or maybe they've ordered and they didn't push their child to take it. And
Yes.
then they've come back and they've said, I'm at my wit's end. Like now we're getting into the scary stuff. This gets
Yeah.
scary as they get older, right? They're
Yeah.
they're being bullied, they're getting darker and darker, horrible things are happening,
Yeah.
like cutting and
Yeah.
things like that. And
I
this is the road that can happen when you don't deal with the emotion at
yes.
that level. And the whole gut healing piece of the protocol is what works at the cellular level, the gut healing level. And that's what's going to lift that deep down darkness. It's going to lift that. And as the child continues to take the protocol, then all of that is going to continue to be completely reversed, and they're going to feel more wholesome and whole as each month passes, as each quarter passes, as each year passes, right? And all you have to do is just keep them, going, and just keep them on the product. And by the way, like, you just tweak as you go. My son started to get really bad acne, and I knew that the adult gut healing protocol for kids 100 pounds or more would help with his acne. So I switched him from one piece of his whole protocol from the kids version to the adult version just for that reason. And now his acne is clearing up. So, you customize as you go. What do they need more? What do they need less? What do they need, to tweak? And that's what I love about it too, is it's so customizable. It's
Yeah.
so customizable. And it's
Amazing.
all a win-win.
It is an incredible win-win. I mean, and you can't put a price on it. It's like their life, their joy, their love for themselves. Like you cannot put a price on it. How they walk in this world, how they bring themselves and their gifts to this world, which is what we as parents all want, is to have healthy, happy kids. So Angie, this was amazing. Please share this or tag somebody so that people know that this exists. Your story is amazing. And I know you have other stories too. So we'll bring you back to talk about your own journey with the gut, healing protocol, as well as I think your daughter and your husband, right? Don't you all have like separate stories? So we're going to bring you back because we could stay on here for hours talking, but you've brought such amazing hope for people. Thank you again for sharing your story. I hope this goes viral, honestly. I mean, it needs to. It needs to. And thank you for all the work you do. I mean, I'm on the same path. It's like, we will do this till the day we leave the planet. I know you feel that way. Mm-hmm. I feel that way. It's become our life's work to get this message out. People need to know about this. We are changing lives in a big way. So Angie, you're amazing. I can't even begin to tell you like how happy I am for your whole family, but for your little boy, like it just literally brings tears to my eyes to think how
it's beautiful. It's what mothers want. You know what I mean? It's what mothers want.
Yeah,
you just want your child to know how much they should love themselves and how much you love them. It's beautiful.
And harmony, right? Harmony in the home. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be that way. Oh my God.
So true.